y'all doing on this beautiful Friday or whenever you may be watching this? Hope y'all are doing well and feeling good because you are now tuned in to Truth Carpet with East Coast, West Coast duo LoveLoudd LLC. It is I, Simone Loud, and she is
Chiquita Banana. Remember Priscilla used to always say stuff with her nose?
Right, I'm about to say, we ain't heard Chiquita Banana in a very long time. Some people probably don't even know who that is.
It's the sunshine coming through the skies. Yeah. I am Unique Love, Simone's best friend, the other half of LoveLoudd LLC. And Chiquita Banana is from, what's that, just season 2 or did that season 1?
I think it started in season 2. I don't remember. Just one day she used it and she stuck with it.
That's my podcast persona, y'all. Ooh, Cha-Cha. Oh, your name should be Cha-Cha.
Chiquita Banana and Cha-Cha?
Yeah. Ooh. It's cute though.
I guess it's Chiquita Banana and Cha-Cha now, I guess.
Yeah.
Anywho, welcome to another episode. Super excited that y'all are tuning in. Hopefully we have more listeners because I know more folks have been reaching out and letting us know that they've been enjoying the show. So if you are new to the Truth Carpet,
hey,
welcome.
And we have new subscribers too, which is so exciting.
That is very exciting.
So exciting.
Welcome. Thank you for subscribing and hitting that notification bell so you know what's popping. Okay. But before we jump into the show, for those of you that don't know, we got to check in and let y'all know how we doing.
How you doing? I'm doing great. I think you can tell by my smile. We should have put the flowers over here because it's so nice.
We should have, but they're kind of tall and I don't want it to block nothing. I bought some tulips, y'all. They yellow and they match the seeds.
Yes, if you know me. My real favorite color is yellow, even though I've been telling the world it's pink
for a very long time.
So if you're new, my favorite color is pink and hers is, I was about to say yellow.
It's definitely not yellow.
It's yellow and blue mixed together, which is green. But I also love yellow, so I'm doing great. I don't know if it's like the effect of the sun, because winter depression, and then when the sun comes out, it's like.
It was a beautiful day today. It was a beautiful day
in the neighborhood.
It was like 70 today. I went outside and took a walk for a break at work. I was so excited. Yes. I was like, let me get out this little stuffy in here. Let me go outside where the sun is at. It's too nice to not go outside and stretch my legs.
Right. But I've been really good, no complaints this week. Everything felt like it was just like smooth sailing. So I don't know if it's because I've been, like I said, last podcast, been speaking up for myself, feeling confident in myself. Or if it's the weather, it could be both. Hey, but I ain't complaining.
Right, I'm complaining over here.
Can you see my hair?
Look at her hair.
It's the same wig I've been wearing, but I cut it.
She did her own do. She did the do. Let her know how you feeling it. Ooh woo.
If y'all don't like it, I'm gonna throw it away. If y'all like it, I'm gonna keep it.
It's cute. I think she did a good job.
Thank you.
I like it.
How you doing?
I'm okay. This week was a little exhausting for me. This was a stressful week. I had a long week. It's been a long month. Okay. It's been a long month. Slowly but surely coming down to a close for the month of March. But I want to say for me, as far as me being exhausted this week, I want to say that I'm proud of myself for not allowing myself to beat myself up for not getting as many things done as I wanted to because I was too tired.
Did you have a to-do list?
I had a to-do list and I was determined to get it done. Especially when it came to editing the podcast. Like I have a schedule of I'm gonna be done on this day, I'm gonna do this on this day. But I was so tired that I had to push some things back a couple days. And I was just like, I can't. Mm-hmm. I need to wrap my mind around the next day.
Right.
What I have to do
she
tomorrow.
Wakes up so early.
I do, y'all. Now that the time has changed, I'm waking up before the sun. It's so hard for me to wake up when the time changed. I don't know why. I like waking up to the sun in my window, but I think I enjoy more being able to get off work and the sun is still out and I could still, take a
Oh,
nice little walk home after work.
Monie called me on a video 2 days ago. She was so happy leaving work with the sun still out.
I was.
She usually works I said, 16 hours a day. But
it's
the
like
sun
11.
was still out, and she had her tulips, and she was just she just called me because she was just so happy.
I was so happy that the sun was still out and I could walk home.
Right. I'm sure a lot of y'all can relate to that.
It wasn't too cold. It was a nice amount of breeze. Mm-hmm. The sun was out. And as I was walking home, I walked past the flower shop and I was like, oh my goodness, I want to buy those tulips. And I did. And buying those flowers made me happy. Walking home made me happy. And that was literally the highlight of my day. Actually, the highlight of my week, to be honest. Aww. Aside from being able to record this podcast with my best friend.
Yeah.
But yes, yeah, that made me happy.
Aw, flowers make her happy.
They do.
They make her happy.
Specifically tulips.
Me too.
I'm talking to my husband right now. Tulips, baby. Tulips. Thank you.
Speak it. But yeah, I'm glad that we're both doing good. It's a happy Friday. Happy weather. Happy vibes.
Happy Love Loud. Okay. And since we have checked in, for those of you that don't know, now it's time for me to give you the rundown for today's show.
The rundown.
So first up in the icebreaker, we're going to be pulling oracle cards and letting you know what they mean to us. And if you haven't been on an episode with us, we pull oracle cards. It's very intriguing and interesting, so make sure you tune in for that. Then up next in Suite 223, we have another fellow CAU brother, friend coming in to spit some poetry by the name of Josh. Can't wait to have y'all hear the fire that he is going to spit. Yeah. Then in our hot topic segment, super excited about the guest that we have. We have
super duper.
Here she go talking during a rundown again, y'all. I'm not used to this. We have a member of our S-Fam, sister from another Miss Natasha Howard, coming in to speak to us about mentorship and her mentorship program. We're going to be talking about people that have mentored us, what mentorship means to us, and why it's important to give back, y'all. I cannot wait for y'all to hear this segment. My heart is full. Then after that, we're going to continue into the dorm story segment with our good S-Fam sister to discuss mentors that we've had in our lives and how it has changed our lives. And then, of course, if you stay tuned in all the way to the end, we have some announcements for y'all to tune into so you can know what's going on with LoveLoudd LLC. Could be a giveaway, could just be, just want to give y'all some love, okay? And that is the rundown for today's episode. And without further ado, we are going to continue into the icebreaker.
Oh gosh. Let go.
Let's go.
Hey guys, it's time for another icebreaker. I just want to say, if people are new to our podcast, because we do have new subscribers, Simone and I met at CAU, and I remember Simone because we were the last two playing an icebreaker during our freshman orientation. So that's why we play an icebreaker before we get into, the other parts of our podcast. So
this is very true, and I lost.
But anywho, we're best friends. That's all that matters. So today we are going to pull oracle, right?
Yes, we are.
Oracle cards. And like Monie said earlier, we're going to share what the message is on the card and what it means to us. For those who do not know what an oracle card is, it's just a divine message on the card. We used to pull them more often, but I find that we haven't been pulling them often lately. I don't know what you do in your own life. Often. Yeah, but I haven't been pulling them as often, but they give good messages, motivation, encouragement, things like that. And it's kind of between Monie and I, it's funny because sometimes they relate with one another.
Right.
But separately, when we pull them separately, it's kind of what I need, that boost of energy, and that message that kind of correlates to what I'm going through in life. So we're gonna pull one oracle card each, read it aloud, and then share what that means for us in that moment right now. And just take a listen.
Yes. And for those of you that are interested in the oracle deck that we are pulling from, it is The Universe Has Your Back, created by Gabrielle Bernstein or Bernstein, but The Universe Has Your Back. Right. I remember that book. Right? Yeah. Oh my gosh. But yes, that's the oracle deck that we are pulling from today.
Okay. So the universe is telling me to cut this.
Go ahead and cut it. If that's what the universe is telling you to do, you better do shit.
I pulled two.
She definitely pulled two. What?
I'm like, what should I do? All right, I'm gonna read both. When I accept the love of the universe as my primary teacher, I will always be guided back to the light. It's funny because one passage is here and one is down there. When I lean on certainty and faith, I change my mind about the world I see. That's
read both of them again.
I'm gonna read them as one card. When I accept the love of the universe as my primary teacher, I will always be guided back to the light. When I lean on certainty and faith, I change my mind about the world I see. Right. Hey, I've been in a slump, kind of like the whole January and some of February. There was a certain light that was in that February, but it was just like complaining me about my own life, just how things were going. But then I started to like change my perspective. Like I said earlier, speak up for myself and pinpoint and highlight those things that were not going right. And I felt a tug back from the episode we had with Prince. Like I didn't want to say anything because I didn't want to jeopardize anything or bring up, put somebody else under the bus for like spilling out what was said. Like just like try not to mess up anything. But I had to do what was right for me. And the universe was telling me that something was wrong. The universe was telling me there's something better for me out there. The universe was telling me I'm not like what I'm thinking and what I know I believe and that I desire and deserve for myself is right. So speak up for yourself and go for those things. That's what I feel from this. And just like changing my mind about the world. The world is what it is. Like there was never a such thing, so they say, as bad. Us humans made the bad exist. It's always good. So it's about your perspective and how you see things. Like you can look at the flower, the plants. Like I told you, my mom had taken these plants that were dying because this place was getting rid of plants. And they're like, oh, get rid of these plants. They're not doing well. All the plants needed was a little sunshine, love, talking to. I named it Juicy. It's a big peace lily plant. So I named it Juicy, like Juicy Couture. Give it some sunshine, some water, and some love. And just the next day, it like perked up. The leaves that were dead are gone. Like it's just such a beautiful plant. And that's how we have to do with our lives. Just change our perspective. Be warded by those who love us, those around us, and say, Dad, you're okay. Give us some encouragement. You're not wrong. Speak up for yourself. Love yourself. And then do that same watering to ourselves. And then look at how bright everything else will be. So it's crazy. Like literally one paragraph up here, one down there. And I just read them together. And I feel like
they flow right into each other. It was meant for you to pick up both of them together.
Right.
I like that. All right, let me go ahead. I'm going to do a shuffle one more time.
Do what it tells you to do.
Let's see. All right. One more time. All right. It says, the more energy and intention I bring to my faith, the more fearless and free I am. One more again for the people in the back. The more energy and intention I bring to my faith, the more fearless and free I am.
Right.
This is speaking to me because I have literally for the past few weeks or so been putting more thought into how I can be more intentional with what I want to do and where I want to go. How exactly am I going to get there? Because I've realized that I'm at a point in my life where I can't just make decisions just to make them. Like my next move has to be my best move, and I want to ensure that I'm making the best decision for me, not based off what anybody else has to say about it. I have been trying to have more control over my anxiety and not being scared of the things that I know that I'm capable of. Same thing going back to the episode that we had with Prince, just understanding my worth and knowing what I desire, that I am capable of the things that I deserve in this world, that I'm capable of doing them and being able to have them in my life. So yes. And deserving, putting more energy into just walking by faith and not by sight. Like just knowing that I'm headed in the right direction, because oftentimes I have these moments where I do wonder, am I in the right place? Yes, I have to remind myself I'm in the right place at the right time, surrounded by the people that I'm supposed to be surrounded with, learning the lessons that I'm meant to learn right now. That's going to help project me into the next phase of what I'm supposed to be doing. So which is why I continue to meditate every morning, to put myself in a certain state of mind to push me forward into my day. And I've also been trying to put new ways into like my evening routine. Like I have a routine that if I don't do it when I come in the house, it like literally just throws off my vibe. Like coming in, lighting a candle, turning on my lamp, turning on a certain vibe of music, and unwinding for the day, just so I can have a certain type of mood when I go to bed. So it's just like how I start in my day definitely has a play in on how I just move as a person. So, and it helps me to be more free. In order for me to be fearless and feel free to do what I desire, and know that without a doubt in my mind, I can do it.
Without
a doubt, I can do it. So yes, one last time, the more energy and intention I bring to my faith, the more fearless and free I am. And I definitely feel like I've been moving in this direction of being more fearless and free as a person.
Yeah. Faith is an easy word to say out loud, but it takes a lot for somebody to have it. And it's funny though, because nothing's guaranteed. You don't know if there's gonna be a flood that just washes everything away, a fire that just burns everything that you own away. Like if something tragic, like anything, it takes faith to know that you're still gonna have a job tomorrow, your breath tomorrow, like your car is gonna be out there tomorrow. Like, like nothing's set in stone, nothing's promised. So everything takes faith. So just for us to even be scared of anything other than these basic things that we are used to every day, it's crazy to me. But what they say, all you need is a little faith.
Right. Just a little bit, mustard seed. Yep. And even with that, having the size of a mustard seed, I think that ties into just doing it scared. Like there's going to be some type of fear that's going to lie in things that are unknown to us in regards to what we want to do. We don't know what the outcome is going to be, but
nothing's guaranteed.
Exactly. So like even sometimes I think just the other day I was sitting and I was thinking like what my next move is going to be. And I thought back to just a year ago when I was trying to figure out what my next move was going to be. And I ended up getting this job, moving to New York. Like it feels like it happened overnight, like the way that everything had happened with me deciding this is what I want to do. This is what I need to do it. This is who I need to reach out to. These are the steps that I need to take. And what was meant to be, it happened regardless. So whether I felt like it took too long for me to do it, it happened when it was supposed to. So yes.
You go, best friend.
You go, best friend.
And that's it for our icebreaker segment. If you enjoyed this part of our podcast, let us know below. And Monie already shared the information for the Oracle cards.
Yes. The universe has your back. For those of you that may have fast forwarded and missed the name of the deck that we were using, do better.
What's our next segment, Monie?
We are going into sweet, 223. And I cannot wait for y'all to hear this next poet speak. Okay. Enjoy.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Suite 223. We are here with another amazing guest. We have another friend from the illustrious Clark
Atlanta University.
I mean, It just breeds talent. Hey, Josh, welcome. This is Josh. He is a creator, a writer, a beat maker, a singer. Like, what doesn't he do? He just does everything. Silly TikTok videos, just like an amazing heart, fun to be around. Welcome to our podcast, Josh.
Thank you all for having me. I'm so excited to be here with you all, man. It's good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you too.
It's been so long since we see you. Smile. How have you been?
I've been well, man. I can't complain at all. I mean, I could, but wouldn't nobody care?
No, we all could complain about something.
Right. No, in all seriousness, man, I'm very blessed and I'm very thankful. Life is going well. Just looking forward to the future. Got blessings on blessings, man, honestly and sincerely. So I'm excited to be here and excited to talk to you all and share what I've been up to and share some awesome poetry and all of that. So yeah.
Yes. So before we get into because I have some questions already, I'm gonna let you start off with the mic. You have an amazing poem that you want to share with us called Brown Sugar Babe.
Yes.
So I'm excited to hear that. And then we'll get to know a little bit more about you. So take it away.
All right. Oh, man. So heaven lies at the foot of a woman. I see a nation on the rise when I look in her eyes. She beautiful, fully covered. I love a melanin complex. Erykah Badu concept, still her wardrobe. Black Bridget Bardot mixed with black gold. Shea butter, brown sugar, and a swag so cold. My soul smiles when I see her. Don't need a Kardashian. I need a Khadijah just to feed her my visa. Tell her, get yourself something nice. I'ma pay the Kelly price. Cause you bad like a 2-year-old who love to fight. So I'ma spoil you like milk I left out overnight. And if you fall for me, I'ma catch you like I'm Jerry Rice. When I touch down, I'ma pick you up and take you out. After I put the courtship papers in that I filled out. Cause I'm feeling you like OMG. I cannot and be Nefertiti. Baby, come be my queen. That's Brown Sugar Babe. Yeah, a little something.
That was so cute.
Yeah.
Got me thinking like brown sugar babe. I don't know how to behave.
It's Brown Sugar Babe, man. Dedicated to the queens, man. Dedicated to the beautiful black queens out there.
You put black queen names in there too.
Right.
Yeah, I had to come, Khadijah, Nefertiti, Erykah Badu. So, shout out to all the beautiful women.
Yes. Oh, it was poetic justice. And it was like a little hip hop rhythm in it too. Just like
a little mix because I definitely write, hip hop like bars, 16s and all of that. And anybody who raps, that's poetry.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's poetry. So just kind of flowing with it,
Yes. Oh my God. Yeah, I love that poem. I don't know if you were watching, if you could see our reactions, but I know I was smiling while listening to it. But like what inspired you to write this piece exactly? Let's start with that question.
Oh man, I would say my mother. My mother has been like, she's like my superhero for real, like an angel. Anybody who knows my mother knows that she's like very loving, very beautiful spirit. And, just having a strong Black woman like that in my life, just, my love and appreciation for Black women is incredibly immense. And so I wanted to do a piece that really just, pays respect and big ups to, Black women in particular. All women, of course, are beautiful queens and deserve recognition. But of course, we got to show love and appreciation to the Black queens and the sisters out there. So definitely mom planted the seed and, it was nurtured through, other relationships and things like that. And so I just wanted to express myself, in a poetic way to the Black women. So, yeah.
Yes, I'm sure I appreciate that she's going to love it. Yeah, I appreciate it too.
I'm glad. That's right.
Yes. So what inspired you to write altogether? Your poetry, your spoken word, your raps, your singing. Oh, you do it all, Josh. Like what but what's the ink that's like what's inspiring that ink to bleed out your pen?
Oh man, I'm a creative. You know, like you said, I do it all. Like I rap, I sing, I make beats. I'm just an entertainer. That's just I've all since I was born. Like first day of kindergarten. Check this out. My mom dropped me off, and she comes to get me, and she just hear kids like go, go, and she just walks into the classroom. She like, please don't let that be my baby. Please don't let that be my baby. And lo and behold, here's little Josh standing on the table, performing. Yeah, first day of kindergarten. And the teacher's like, oh my God, he's been performing all day. So I'm like,
Oh my God,
I don't
I
know.
love it.
Yeah, so I got it honest. And so sometimes it's just like getting out my feelings and what I'm going through. Sometimes that comes out through a song. Sometimes it comes out through poetry. Sometimes it comes out, melodies and making beats and playing keyboard and all of that. And, so really it's just whatever I'm going through at the time. I just need to find a way to express myself. And the creative arts has always been my outlet to create and just, get off how I'm feeling.
Right.
Yes, come on, relatable. I will always be an advocate for the arts because you never. It's just such a great outlet when especially like when you're going through something you don't know how to translate. You can't put it into words. Your art speaks for you. You know what I'm saying? No matter what the art is, whether it be music, whether it be painting, whether it's it's just the arts. They speak for you and to other people.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one thing I'm really consider myself to be blessed to be able to express myself, especially with words. There's so many people out there who they're going through all these things. They have all these emotions running through them, but they don't necessarily have the words to convey how they feel. And I've always been able to, express myself lyrically or through words or, writing a lecture, things like that, So it's a blessing.
It is. It is. And it's such a gift. And with that being said, I like to ask artists, do you get fear fright? Or how do you feel when you're on the stage or performing?
Oh man, it depends on the stage, honestly. I honestly, every time I go before the stage, or go before people, I don't get afraid anymore because I've done it so frequently. You know what I mean? So I'm kind of used to a crowd. You know what I mean? I kind of got used to a crowd at a really young age, with touring and performing and things like that. But when I say it depends on the nature of the event, if I'm speaking and it's something that's more so religious based where, I'm coming from the Bible or Quran, because that's a huge part of who I am as well, then I have such a reverence for the people that I'm before, because these are God's people. So I'm trying to come correct. So if I'm nervous, it's because I want to make sure that, I'm I don't make a whole lot of mistakes, because the subject matter may be pretty heavy and things like that. But for the most part, how I deal with those nerves and things like that is just, I really just kind of go into this place in my mind where it's just just be you, don't try to be nobody else. You're here because they want you. So do that. And who can be me better than me?
Come on. Word.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't gotta be nobody else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go, Josh.
Yep. Right. It's just just relax and handle it. I don't try to picture nobody naked or nothing like that.
That's what everybody gives that advice.
I never understood that one, but okay.
I've never had to do that. I just have always been I remember the very first time I really performed, I was super nervous to the point where my mouth got incredibly dry, no saliva, no nothing. I could not barely breathe. That was a talent show. Then after that, I realized I won the talent show, but I realized yeah, a little shameless plug, a little.
Okay. Right.
Yeah.
All right.
But after that, I kind of I still had inklings of that, but you kind of do it more frequently and you kind of get used to it and you kind of rise to the occasion. And then now it becomes more of a let's do this.
Yeah.
Right.
Let's go now. Allow me to just excited. You know?
Right, you get like that nervous excitement, like I'm about to do this. They about to listen to me.
Yeah,
I'm about to
like
this. What's
like
up?
they don't even
They
know.
ain't ready, right? They don't even know what's about to happen. They don't know what happen to their ears right now. Like, what's up?
Right.
Yeah.
Myself up in the back.
Yeah, and a big thing, a huge part of that is the confidence. But where does the confidence come from? Like when people ask, it's like the confidence really comes from me knowing that nothing that I do of good really comes from me. It comes from, the creator. So it's just like I'm sharing what was deposited into me. So it's like if somebody doesn't like that, they don't like what God deposited in me. And that's kind of silly. You know what I mean? Like that's my expression that comes from the creator. Says I don't take complete credit for that,
Yes, come on. You just all types of fire.
Yeah.
You on my mic?
Nah.
I love it. I love it for sure. Do you have another question from Simone?
Let me think. I don't know. I might be able to pull something out of the back of my brain. Let me think. Oh, okay. So what is like your go-to form of art? Like you have so many different outlets that you're into in regards to the arts. Like what's at the top of the list? Like when you really want to get something out?
Ooh, that's an excellent question. Like at the top of the list, honestly, it just depends on the circumstance. Like the crowd. Like here's the thing, my uncle, who was my first manager, right, when I was doing music, like as a child, like I was blessed to win this big singing competition in the Chicagoland area. And that's where I started kind of getting like a little notoriety. It's like, oh, he performs and stuff. And my uncle like took me under his wing as like my first manager. And when he kind of saw that, I had like, a gift, he would do a lot of public speaking. Like that was his thing. He was a spokesperson for the school district and he would get invited a lot of different places and he would always bring me with him. And he was so smooth and eloquent with his words that he would just like get to talking and then he would kind of segue into something and he would just put me on the spot all the time. Like I would not be ready. He wouldn't tell me in the car, nothing. He would just put me on the spot and I don't know what it would be. So he would just be like, yeah, so that's why it's so important that we just uplift each other in the community. And so part of that uplifting, man, is just about pouring into one another. And so that's why I have my nephew here who's going to be coming to the stage deliver a beautiful song. And I'm like, come on, bro. Like, I'm just like, oh my God. I'm like 15, 16 years old. It's just like, oh my God, he really just did that. But like, it's like you kind of sink or swim. And so I'll be like, okay. And if it was on my mind at the time, like I sing a song, or that. Or like based on the crowd, you gotta know how to read the crowd. Like,
that's true too.
You gotta know how to read the crowd. Like, if it's like majority middle-aged white women, I'm not gonna get up there and rap. I'm not gonna do Brown Sugar, babe. You feel me? Like, you know what I mean? Maybe to fly me to the moon. I do some Frank Sinatra or something. They'd be like, oh my God, he was just so amazing.
That was wonderful.
So it really just depends. But as of late, like I go through these spurts where sometimes like I'm really have my producer hat on. And so I'm, making beats because I'm like, it's like, man, it's good, And other times I'm more of an artist where it's just like, man, I really want to, I want to rap. Like I want to get these bars out. Like, I'm inspired. I may just been listening to Wu-Tang or watching that show on Hulu or something, And so it's just all inspiration based. So like, I don't have just one thing where it's just like, boom, that's my go-to. It really just depends on the circumstance and the inspiration that I have, because whatever you're inspired by the most, that's what's going to come across the best. So that's why it's just like, man, go with how I'm really feeling at the moment, and trust.
I love that you follow your heart, and I love that you tied in the fact that your uncle was your manager who put you on the spot, and it kind of your uncle was basically your mentor and guiding you and training you, and you didn't even know it, because you said earlier that you got used to the stage and you basically learn to be yourself and just let go of everything else. And your uncle, like, even though 15-year-old, you was probably like, dang, my girl crushing the crowd, I don't want to go on the stage, uncle. But because he called you out, you felt inclined to go to the stage, and that's what kind of warmed you up and trained you to be the Josh, the go Josh, go Josh, go that you are now, so that's amazing.
Yeah, and I'm so thankful for all those experiences, because all those experiences come, like you said, come to help make me who I am, the person, the man, the father, the artist, all of that. And I could never have been who I am today without those experiences. Like, I've had great experiences and I've had some rough experiences.
Yeah.
Come on.
So, but it's all in all, I look back at it and I smile, and I'm thankful for it. Thankful for it all. So
amen.
Everything we go through brings us to today. Hello.
yes.
Brings us to today.
And now I'm more inspired now than I feel like I've ever been, because like I took a lot of time off from doing like poetry, from doing music, from doing these, different things, because like I started going towards having like a more of a spiritual calling, and I really got deep into my faith, Islam. And that was such a blessing. It was such a huge blessing. And I took all that inspiration that went from writing music and raps and things like that, and I poured that into like delivering lectures. And I was blessed to be, assistant and a helper of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. So I did that for, 5-6 years. And so now it's like I'm starting more so to get back into the creative arts, not just like, coursing scriptures and things like that, but like really being able to relay all this music that's been laying dormant inside me for the past like 6 years.
Right.
Yeah,
that's amazing too. And life takes you on this journey, and you go through different paths, and it's all meant for something. You going to the right this way may have led you to come back to poetry to bring something that's way different than you could have written before, or that's even out there.
Right, exactly. Because poetry is it's in everything. It's in all your experiences. Like it's an artistic expression, Like, and who's to say someone's poetry is wrong,
Right.
That's why I like it.
Like that's how they feel. Like, I mean, of course there's certain like ways to write poetry, like a haiku and things like that. But it's just like at the end of the day, your words coming out and how you choose to express all of that is poetry. Like you can see something that can look poetic, so take everything in nature is art. Everything.
Absolutely. And just to touch on what you were saying as far as like being away from the arts for a minute, I feel like it's not something that you can get away from. Like whether you working in corporate America, doing whatever it is that you're doing, and if you were in the art, you grew up in the arts, you just have this side passion that you always want to be into, it's always going to be there. It's always going to find its way back into your life, whether you like it or not, you always going to be reminded of that art that's always in you. So so it's just something about like just taking that break and having a reminder of like, you know what? I can't just let this die. I can't leave this within me. I need to share this with the world. Like
absolutely. And I realized too, like why I was effective as like a speaker and orator, because like public speaking, that's an art. Skill to be able to grab an audience and tend to bring your voice down just a little bit lower, and then come in and make it intimate, and then you come back up and they're like, oh, you know what I'm saying? And you have a flow to the whole lecture. And our best speakers, people that we love to listen to, like throughout history, whether it been Dr. King or Malcolm X and all these powerful men and women, like we love to listen to them because of it's like the way that they even speak is poetry. It's poetic.
Storytelling.
It draws you in, how from the beginning to the middle to the end. Then you feel so inspired when you leave, because it's like, man, and what they really deposited in you was art, was inspiration, and that comes from the creator. So that's why you feel so filled up and you feel so good afterwards.
Come on.
Speak to him, Josh.
That's what I'm saying. Speak to him.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So I'm thankful to be here. It's so good. When y'all reached out, I was like, oh Heck yeah. I wasn't a doubt in my mind. I'm like, let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Because right now where I'm at in my life is just really, like you said, just getting out, you know, from a creative standpoint. All these things that have been in me, and it comes out different ways. It comes out poetry. I actually want to do write a poetry book, a book of poetry.
Okay.
Hey, come on.
Yeah. And, you know, get together with other talented artists or talented artists to do like a dope visual with the poetry, you know, because I knew I wanted to do a book, you know, I wanted to do a book, and it's just like, I didn't want it to be like just a regular book. I mean, I will write, you know, normal books, and I'm writing regular books, but the first book that I probably do will probably be a book of poetry, you know.
Absolutely.
We're here for it.
Right, just do it.
Yeah.
And let me know when it's done so I can give me a copy.
Right.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Well, thank you so much, Josh, for agreeing to be on our podcast. We're excited to have you on. Looking forward to it. You know, wondering what you're gonna spit today. Like,
right.
But I love your piece for sure. Love speaking with you and catching up with you. It's like nostalgic. But before we let you go, let the people know where they can find you, how they can keep in touch, what you have coming up next. Aside from the book, you know, all these things that you got going on. So whatever you want to spill, let them know.
Well, people can find me at Instagram, TikTok, all the social media platforms at Josh Make Hits. That's Josh Make Hits. As far as what I got going up is I'm based in Phoenix. I'm from Chicago, but I'm living currently in Phoenix. I'll be performing at Poetic Soul soon. Which
Okay.
Yeah, so it's one of the bigger poetry kind of jam sessions that they have every Wednesday night. So I'm looking forward to performing there. I have a really, really big audition coming up in LA soon, so pray for me. Yeah, like we're meeting with some labels and things like that to really get my music out there and things like that. So I'm excited. I'm really excited with that. Other than that, man, you can catch me online. You know, my silly videos and my beats, all of that. You know, if people are interested after they check out my beats online, you can reach me at joshmakehits1@gmail.com to inquire about some of the music that I put out there. And I'm working on a project. It's been so hard working on my own music because like I'll make beats and I put it out there, and then all these other artists reach out, and that's also how I like you know finance myself and travel and things. That is, you know, selling my music and beats and stuff like that. So sometimes I have to like put that on pause and be like, I gotta work on my album. You know what I'm saying? Like I want to do that. I'm an artist too. Like, but yeah, so I'm really hoping to put out an EP later this year.
Nice.
Yes, come on. I'm excited for you.
Yeah, I'm thinking the fall. So be looking out for that. So it'll have a lot of everything on there, from poetry, from you know my own production to rapping to singing to just everything. It's just gonna be a bowl of artistic gumbo.
Come on, bowl of artistic gumbo. Who don't like gumbo?
Right? Come on, man. Facts. Facts.
Ooh, and I must say, because they're gonna think we did this on purpose, we coordinated very well, I must say. Yellow, the black and the yellow. I'm just saying. We didn't do it on purpose. It's just how it happens, okay? The coordination was on point.
We in tune.
Yes.
That's right.
So cute.
Right. I kept looking, I'm like, we matching. Like all this.
That's dope. That's dope. I'm so glad. I'm glad. Thank you all so much for having me on the show. I'm glad I was able to be here. Some of mine. Thank you all so much for the platform. And man, I'm gonna promote it to my people so we can all just stay tuned. I love you all's energy and spirit. It picked me up. I flew into a whole nother state today earlier, so I was a little tired, but I knew once I got on with y'all, saw y'all smile and spirit and energy, it would pick me up, and absolutely did.
Yes, come on. Thank you. Thank you. See?
Now I'm lit.
He's so lit. He disappeared.
Right. I'm sorry. Exactly. It was just so much.
Disappeared.
That's love. That's love. Well, we love you, Josh, and thank you so much for being on this podcast with us. It was a pleasure.
Until next time.
Yes. Yes, indeed, man. God bless.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Café, where we talk about juicy topics. And this is our Hot Topics segment.
Yes.
We have a special guest.
Oh, a real special guest.
A real special guest.
An extra special guest.
An extra saucy special guest. Our sister from another Mister. Natasha Howard. Yeah.
Welcome to the show.
Hi, my beautiful sisters. How are you all?
Good.
Great. I'm so happy to have you here. I'm so
I
excited.
am excited to be here. Before we even start, I want to say how proud I am of this continuous effort you guys have with LoveLoudd. Is so amazing. You guys are the motivator for real.
Thank you.
Oh, look at you, got me glowing and
Right.
stuff.
Come on, Black Girl Magic.
This is so special for me because, like we said earlier to you guys, Natasha is our friend from college. She was our roommate too. So if you've been riding with us, you know that Truth Carpet, the name Truth Carpet came because we used to have hot topics with our friends in college, and Tasha used to hang with us in our dorm because it was her room too. And we used to just talk about random stuff. So this is cool because we're actually talking about something that Natasha is passionate about and Monie is passionate about too, which is mentorship. That's our topic for today. So Tasha is the founder, creative, the mind, the brain, the light, the behind Howard House, which we are proud of you. Yes.
Show off the t-shirt.
Yes. I'm just like really proud of you. I remember when you sent us the doodles of what you wanted your logo to look like and, you know, like your plan and just to see it come into fruition. But I'm kind of getting ahead of myself. Y'all, This is our friend Natasha. Tasha, tell the people about yourself. What did we miss?
Hi. Well, yes. So I created Howard House out of just the struggles of my own life. So I am a magical Black girl that was raised around people who didn't look like or understand me, I felt. And what mattered is that connection that I needed. And so as my matriculation through the great Clark Atlanta happened.
Yes.
We love that word, matriculation.
Yes, you know, I had to use that word. I found that like that's all everybody needs, right? That's all everybody needs. And all we need is someone to talk to that understands us, that can guide us, and that we trust. And that was, I found that a lot among my peers, among older people of different nationalities. It was so amazing. So I opened it up to be that person. I know that what it's like to need that person from a young age to now. I still look for mentorship. So
yeah,
here I am. I am a 32-year-old woman just trying to change the world one kid at a time.
Yes, amen. One kid at a time.
I love that too. So that's pretty much your inspiration of why you created your program?
Yes, and really the tea is I have been through a lot, including teenage pregnancy, abuse in relationships, and these were all while I was younger. So I think those were the hounding factors for me. Like the things that I went through, it was for a reason, right? So like I have to share this story so that other people don't have to. That is the point of life. That's why we go through things, so that the people that we love beyond us and below us in age understand that they don't have to go through these struggles. Like they don't have to act out. They don't have to have these hardships of life if they open up, if they find someone they trust, if we can communicate on how we all want the community to look like. So yeah.
Wow.
Absolutely.
It's nice to hear people's stories and passions behind why they're driven to do certain things that they do. Do you feel like you did those passions because when you were a younger girl you didn't have that, or was it somebody in your life that inspired you to take that space for somebody else?
I think that's a combination of all of it. Through the evolution of my life is different moments. So when I was younger, yes, I struggled because I know I didn't have those relationships. As I got older, then I started to see people who were like me, who could be free-spirited Black and like, you know, help each other, and understood where I was coming from as I got older, because I was able to choose my own space. So I saw influence in that, and then I got motivated to be that person, because remembering how I didn't have that, it was all a connector. So life happens for a reason, right? And you go through a journey, and I feel like my journey has only led me to be a help, whether it's in education, because that's what I do, or my own entity, which is helping really my community and people who look like me. Like it all was wrapped up in one. I needed it. I saw it. It motivated me.
Yeah. So taking off of that word motivation, you took your story and what you went through to create a whole brand, basically. You didn't have to do that. You could have just said, "Oh, I'm gonna get my little cousin and this little girl from down the street and be their mentor," but you made this whole brand. So we want to know what inspires you to be successful, to push your brand to where it is and beyond.
Okay, well, honestly, I started doing the things that I do now without a title or a name or a company. Again, it's experiencing teenage pregnancy. I saw a lot of that being, in college, and where HBCUs, usually in the hood. So I saw a lot of those issues when I was going to these schools to volunteer, because I always knew I wanted to be a teacher. And I started to see those things. So it was like, wow, like it's not just my cousin. It's not just me. It has to help beyond that. So I started doing things like community baby showers, where I would just like have $500 or something, and like, give 10 girls a basket or something, gift cards. And I was doing that without a name, but business people, as we grow up, we get different relationships. And I think God put a lot of business-minded people around me in the last 5 years that helped me understand that, one, I don't have to do this alone. That's the biggest thing, right? I can ask for help and reach out. If I'm trying to change the community, ask the community. So a lot of people motivated me to do that. And plus, I'm trying to spend my own money. We could get the government money to help the people it's supposed to help. That's what it's for. That's what I pay taxes for. So that's what I could do. Grants and all of that. That's where I'm going with that. And I couldn't do that without legitimizing the business.
Right. Yes. Yeah. I love what you're doing, because it reminds me of the reason why I do what I do, and being able to see myself in young women, and understanding like sometimes it's something that's happening in the home as to why they might need that outside mentorship from someone else. Like I grew up in spaces where after school I had places where I could go, where I had a dance teacher or another community leader that was there for me outside of the home, reminding me that I was loved and I was cared for. And just giving me the motivation that I needed to remind me that I can do it. I can always reach out when I want to. Like from just being in certain spaces as a child and still being able to reach out to people that mentored me as a child, and still being able to reach out to them as an adult, like that means everything to me. Like this, it's basically like it becomes extended family. Extended
family, and I call that your tribe. And I tell everybody all the time, you have to find your tribe. And I think that's why youthhood is so strenuous, right? It's because we're not making choices. And although we're feeling our own individuality and coming in, and at this point, these kids are growing up fast. So they quickly like have an identity, right? And like, in order to know that's not your identity, or it is, you have to explore that. And I think when you have parameters as a child, as you should, it's harder, right? And you don't understand why, because you're still struggling to find you. So I think that, that's important, to just be able to figure out what is and what isn't you by experience, and experience it all, the good, the bad, live in it, because that makes you who you are.
Yeah. I love the connection that both of y'all are making. So I'm like looking at Tasha as the mentor, and then Monie as the mentee.
Okay.
Now wondering, like we talked about the importance, basically, from you saying why you created this, but what's the balance between the mentor and the mentee relationship?
So I do 3 different areas. So I think I give it all a different balance. I do academics, which is really tutoring, right? That's how I get money and use it for other resources. So that's a little more hands-off. That's really like helping a child maybe for 6 to 8 weeks or 12 weeks in a certain subject. And I go there, and that's what it is. And then I do mentorship, which is more personal. So I help kids transition. If your child is going from middle school to high school, that's a little rocky.
Oh,
I
yeah.
help that transition, you know, because that's hard.
Yes.
That's hard. Like even high school to
Scary.
college, people freak out, you know, especially kids that are very not independent, and like that source of like finding themselves is scary, because like a lot of people are excited to find themselves, but there also are a lot of people who are scared to go independent and explore that. So that's way more personal, and I give my all because I pick and choose, you know, what the situation is. I talk to the parents first. I do a diagnostic to really understand if the parents want what I can provide. Because, you know, it's still a job and it's still a career, and I still may not be the best or what you need. And I understand that. So I have to be a little more selective in that.
I love that. It's not a one size fit all.
Right.
It's not. It's just like teaching. Like I cannot learn from the same teacher or science that I learned from math. And that's why they split it up. Like I can't do that. Like I have to be an expert in a certain thing that I can do, or knowledgeable in what the area is. And so that is my favorite. I connect with children. I usually like take kids out to movies and dinners and have personal relationships with them. So that's the best. And then I do community, which is like the lively me, the Miss Howard. So I have a character, Miss Howard, and that's what the kids know me at. And that is the fun, light me. Like there's no judgment. Like I'm not talking to you about your grade for real. Like I want you to experience stuff in your community and think about things, right? Like outside of academics. So we can have recycle day where we pick up trash in the hood, right? In the neighborhood that usually is not cared to. I like those things like that. Of course, like I always try to have a little, hey, this treats, or like I'm going to have an ice cream truck, but you got to show me your grades. But it's really just to bring the kids together, you know? That's the more lively, fun me. And I appreciate that side too, because that's what the community connects with. So when I have my events that are fundraisers and things that I need support with, it's a little more easier because children are telling their parents about me. Now I have relationships with their parents, and like that continues, and that's what community is about.
Yeah.
See, I love it. And I honestly think we need to continue to have more programs and mentorship programs, especially in the after school world, because there's been oftentimes where they've taken so much away in regards to having after school programs and taking arts out of the schools for whatever reason. I don't know, like arts are needed. Like there's more to life than just learning the general ed and academics. Like arts is universal. So to be able to have programs where children are able to learn how to be themselves, or learn more about themselves, able to explore things that they may have never been able to explore in a regular classroom. Like exactly, taking a cooking class, a music class, learning how to braid hair, whatever it is. Like there's so many different types of programs that are brought into after school programs and mentorship programs that students wouldn't usually see. And that's part of like a community that I was when I was growing up, being able to take dance classes or different types of sports.
You know what happened with that? You know what happened with that? Resources. And I want to send a message to Black people everywhere. We either provide our skill for free to help the community, or we pay our own people to do it. There's no in between. We're looking for the government. We're looking for other people that don't even want us to succeed to help us find ourselves. And this is why we're struggling. And we're going to continue to struggle if we don't pick a side for each other. So if I have a skill, if I'm an artist, I'm going to a community center for free. I'm giving an art class for maybe 6 weeks. Why can't you do that commitment? Now, if you need money, why can't your community pay you for it? Why can't that 6 weeks, every child pay a certain amount? And if you really want your child to explore and be better, you would put that in, you know what I'm saying? Like we spend it on $300 Jordans, like, and all these things we try to give our kids. I just went to a concert tickets are crazy, $300. Like, so you don't want to give $20 every week for 6 weeks to like support your child. So we have to think about where we're going and stop asking other people for help, especially if we want to succeed within our own community. We got to pick a side with that.
Come on, you better be preaching. Okay. Dang, I wish I had something to say. I wish I had some tea. I wish I had some tea to sip. Let me pretend.
It's not Sunday, but I will give it to you. Okay.
Hey. Amen.
So how does somebody go about, like, going back to what you were saying before of being selective of who you work with? How does somebody know, like, if it's not the Howard Foundation, like your business per se,
Yeah.
in general speaking, how does somebody go about finding a mentor or finding a mentee? Because I love how you said earlier that even at this age, you still have mentors in your life.
Yeah, I still long for them. I still want, new ones. So yes. So as far as the children, again, that diagnosis is really important. And I try not to teeter the line because, people are rough about their kids now.
Yeah.
So I try not to teeter the lines and like tell them or diagnose their child, but I definitely give them suggestions. So if I can help, like if I feel like there's something deeper than their organization, so they're trying to go from high school to college and the parent tells me, oh, they just need to be organized, but it's emotional issues, right? And they're dealing with stuff, and I'm like, no, there's something deeper. I'm not a psychiatrist, right? So I see that and I suggest, like, I think there's emotional issues, and I leave it at that. I don't suggest what type of doctor. I don't suggest where you can get that from because, again, I culturally, that's not my place, right? And culturally, we have to teeter the line with people's kids and how they feel about them, and what they're ready to hear as well, because some people's parents are not even ready to hear where their child is really at. And I think that's a struggle within itself, because that prolongs them finding who they are, getting even the help they need to start that process. So that's a very fine line. And I think for yourself, when we reflect on self, where am I at? And can I grow with the people around me to go where I want to? And if you have to add on other things, or you need something or something that is not provided in your circle, like go find it. Go find it. That is the purpose. And this whole no new friends or day ones, hey, listen, no. No, okay, because the millionaire wasn't a millionaire 15 years ago. So what if people wrote him off? You know what I'm saying? We got to figure out where people are at, where they're at when we meet them, and try to decide what we need from them and what we can give them back. Because I think it's a two-way street as well. We have to be able to provide something for them.
Yeah, I think sometimes too, the relationship just builds naturally. It's like sometimes it might just be a teacher, that you just build a close relationship with, and you just kept that relationship over time. Like after graduating from high school and then going on to college and then coming back to visit. Like I have to see Miss or Mr., whoever that you love so much, and they love seeing you come back. Somebody that you can reach back to for a recommendation. Something like that, college professor, counselor.
One of my motivators, shout out to Cedric Copeland. I tell him this. He's a real estate agent now, but he was my 6th grade science teacher. And the first African-American male I seen thrive besides my dad. Again, I'm going to school with a lot of foreigners, so like their struggle is different. But he was an African-American. He went to college. He used to sing Usher inside the classroom. Like, oh my God, how you know that song? Like, so it was very exciting. He was my first motivator to be the adult I needed when I was going to be an adult, right? So now I'm the adult that somebody needed when they were my age. And like, that was the first sign, like, you can do both. You can gather your own thoughts, and you can also like get somebody else's and be excited to be that way. And that's a motivator. So shout out to him. But I think it's hard as shout out to him. But I think it's harder as an adult. I think I cry sometimes now because I'm like, where do I meet these people? Because like we only have a routine as adults. Like we go to work, we meet the same people, and we oftentimes stop liking the people we work with because it's a different atmosphere. So it's harder. It's really harder as an adult. And I think that's why like we have to like say each other's names in a room full of people. Like if I know that you have a podcast and like someone does something great and you have an episode coming up, I want to send them to you. I want to help it easier for you to find the people and get their message. Like we all have to share each other's names. So that's really important because as an adult, like It's way harder. It's way harder. And then we live in a world where it's crazy. And I think somebody is my mentor, like, because they're cool and they do good stuff online. And then I reach out and they tell me to pay for a $25 webinar when I just want to go to lunch. Okay.
Well,
Right.
So that's the world we live in. And that's
and
where it's
people are
coming
selfish too. Is like they feel like they can't tell you what their resources are. Like when we first came out with our books, Monie and I would get emails and texts all the time. Oh, we'll tell them the website and what you got to do. But some people, like when we were going out and asking questions, it was so hard to get any help. Like we had to find our way on our own. Except Ronald did tell us, use Anchor.
Yeah.
But aside from that, it's like people act like you're crabs in a barrel, and that's the mentality that the Black community has. We need to reach out and help each other, and that's what I love about your foundation is bringing back that sense of, I wasn't here when it happened, but back in the day they say that the village raised the child.
Yes,
that's what I see about what you're doing.
Yes, and my ultimate dream is to have a center or a couple centers, whatever God's willing to do. But stationary places where kids feel like it's home. So after school, it's open all night. Like it has a basketball court, but it also has computers to do your homework. Like it has adults patrolling volunteers all the time. So the same one, so we can get a sense of community. You have to live within a certain range, you know what I'm saying, to respect the community, because your kids probably go there, you probably live there. So like that is the dream, because we have to bring that back. We have to bring that back. When we were in the villages in Africa, we were one community. We didn't even understand what the other community was doing unless our stuff was great and we were walking there to show it off. Okay. So we need to go back to that, show it off, worry about yourself, your pocket, and then bring it here. Okay.
Yes, bring it. Let me show you what I've been working on.
Let me show you what let me show you what I do. Okay. Yes. And be proud of it. And like, know that you're a master. And I feel like that's why everybody has to find their one job, right? Like we have this, we live in a world where career is important, but what is your job? Like I'm the teacher. I may not want to get paid to be a teacher, because that's a rough job in reality.
Right.
But I'm a teacher I'm a teacher by nature. So that is my job. So I'm going to continue to be educated because I have to take the word back. I'm going to continue to read up on things that we need to know, because there's others that don't read. And there's others that I just talk to and just want the conversation because they're not going to do that investigation. So that is my job. And I just feel like everybody needs to find their job in their own community and what their place is and how they help everybody and master it, right? Because we can't be perfect at everything. Like we cannot be perfect. I don't know anything about a car, okay? I tried. I'm not a mechanic. Like I'm not that, but we need that. We need somebody that loves cars and wants people to drive safe in their community and help them out. We need that. Exactly. Like, so everybody just find your job and how to help your community in a way that you can master.
Yeah. Right. I always think like I might be here in New York, but I have plans and intentions to always go back home and give back in any way.
Yes.
Okay, whether it's a workshop, whether it's donating money, whatever it might be, teaching a class, something. I just know that in my world of mentee and mentor, that going back to my community is very, very, very important to me. And I was very grateful for the time period that I did go back home and I was able to teach film and poetry in my community and be able to build those relationships with students back home. Like that was great for me. And now I'm here, I'm building relationships with students here. Like I just want to continue to build different relationships with students and families. Like
I'm sitting here looking at our passion, and it's so crazy because we have this passion, but I question where the world is going. And so that's what's scary to me, right? As much as we do that, like there's a teacher shortage, right? Okay, not because people don't really like kids, but because all the other outside things, right? But then it negates the fact that somebody has to teach these kids in a loving way, right? Because we just don't want the young kids out of college that's just looking for a job. So I challenge us all to figure out a way how we can help slow that down. We can't prevent it, but how do we slow that down? How do we don't let people get jaded on helping each other? Because now it's all about money, power. It's not even about respect anymore. We can eliminate that because people have even will lose self-respect for $1, for a job, for a title. And especially us, what are we struggling with? What are we not feeding ourselves? And I challenge the people who are there, the people who speak with love, like us, to help and figure that out, because we got to get love back into the community too.
Yes.
That's the first thing. Everybody lives off love, okay? There's people that hurt themselves when they don't feel loved. Like, love is power. And so we got to get back to that love place. And like, I want to see everybody talk how we talk about what they do. You know what I'm saying? Like, with a smile on their face and so excited, and we'll take all of the pressures that come with it, crabs in a barrel, whatever, to feel like they're doing what they're supposed to do out of love, because they're supposed to, because this is what they feel in their heart.
Yes, come on, living your heart.
Yeah. Okay, boys.
One last thing, I want to go back to the way that you ladies described how to go about, quote unquote, finding a mentor or mentee. The fact that it was said like naturally while you're giving the description of how to go about, I'm having flashbacks in my head of my 4th grade teacher who would meet me after in her classroom to talk to me about different things, or my professors at CAU who I still keep in contact with, and when I go to school I talk to the kids there. Like, it's just like flashbacks. So I never labeled them my mentor, but they were the acting source, or they were the acting persons in my life, and like who would check in me every so often to see how I'm doing in life. I'm like, dang, this whole time. I just didn't get on the label of that's my mentor and I'm their mentee. It just happened naturally. It's just, that was my tribe.
That was your tribe. I mean, sometimes you never understand until something happens, right?
Yeah.
Until you need your tribe, who your tribe is. And that's why life changes when important things happen, like you get married or have a baby, because it's like, oh, important things are happening and I didn't know what I needed from my tribe until these things happen. So I think that's amazing that like you have a choice when you meet so many people. That's why they say networking is important, right?
Yes.
Because then you have a choice to like divvy and dabble in like different relationships and see how people grow, and eliminate some if you have to, because that's always an option.
Get that.
That's always an option. So yeah, I think that's so great when you have a plethora of, and that's why experiences are important. A plethora of experiences, you have choices, after school programs. Those things are important, to just try things and see that there's so many people in this world. You can find your tribe. It may not be at home. It may not be the place you were born. It may not be any of that, but you can find it. You just got to know yourself and what you're looking for and what you need in the moments that you need something.
Right.
Absolutely. Wait, I think there's one more question, right? Oh, yes. I know. I really want to answer. Ms. Howard.
Yes, ma'am.
How would your mentees describe you? Let us know.
Wow.
Because
you know, I think that crazy would be the word that they would describe.
We would say that, but crazy like in a funny way.
Yeah.
Yes, and also like in I'm able to flip a switch when I need, because I know that's what you need, right? So I can dance with you and do a TikTok with you, but like if I see something come up on your phone while we're doing a TikTok, it's not appropriate, I'm gonna tell you. And so I'm able to like be your friend, but also I'm going to have some grounding in what you should do, like an authoritative figure. And a lot of kids, I think, need that balance. So I give them I want you to know that I can come to your level. I can do TikToks. I could talk about whoever you want to talk about. I watch crazy shows, but I also can tell you that I'm a 32-year-old woman who has seen and been here, and that's not good, or that's not healthy, or this is how you can do this. So I like their parent relationship. So that is the connector. But I'm flipping a switch, man. If you, excuse me, we can listen to the music as soon as you say the cuss word. Excuse me, you know what I'm saying? because we don't cuss. You watch that. I'm still an adult. Respect. I teach those
exactly.
basic things.
I love that.
You can cuss with your friends, but you need to learn how to control it. If you don't realize you cuss around an adult, you
take that back a little bit. So
it froze a little bit.
Yeah. So you said you can cuss with your friends, but I'm gonna
you can your friends, but we need to have boundaries because I'm an adult. So I think those basic things are important to keep track. When you have it's an important balance to do both, especially I'm not your parent.
Right.
I'm not your parent. I don't want to really mother you. I'm not going to tell your mother things, but I'm going to tell you what you need to hear and hope that you take it.
Yeah.
Yes. Come on.
I love that.
Yes. Hot topics. Hot topics.
That was great. That was really informative, and some stuff obviously I needed to know. Now I know I got some mentors.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Listen, that's what it's supposed to do. Is just make you think about what's important and how to give that back. That's exactly what it's supposed to do.
Yay.
Brick by brick, and I'm excited to just see where it's like in 10 years and have all these places that we could provide, and we're old ladies and Yaya's gonna be doing art, and I'm gonna be trying to teach dance, and I'm gonna be in the office doing paperwork that I don't understand. Amen.
I love it.
All right. And with this segment coming to a close, we would like you to transition over to our next segment with us to our dorm stories.
Oh, then I'm gonna tell them myself. That's what that's
Something like that.
Okay, well, I'm excited.
Let's do it. Here we go, yo. Here we go, yo. So what's the scenario? In today's dorm story segment, we still have Miss Natasha Howard coming over from the Café over to this segment to talk about mentorship still, but we are going to be sharing stories about either a memory we have with a mentor or a cherishable memory we have with a mentee.
Okay.
Right. Super excited to find out which story you are going to tell us. So without further ado, go ahead and let us know the story that you are going to tell us.
All right. My story is a little trigger warning, so that is my warning. But I think it's powerful just because we need to understand how real emotions are and like how powerful these emotions that youth deal with if they don't find healthy ways to get it out. So I have a young lady, and I've known her since she was in 6th grade. And she is currently 16, and she's always struggled with her place. So that's how we connect. Just finding her place in different cultures. I'm currently in Texas, so it's hard to be an African American, maybe in a school where you go and they're 80% Hispanic.
Yeah.
So it's those struggles, and I understand it. I'm from Florida, and it wasn't just Hispanics, it was Haitians, it was all types, and I was just, not included in that. So I understand the struggle, and I created this relationship because I wanted her to feel better about who she was. And that was amazing to her. And we created this great relationship. And one day she just disappeared. And we have each other's number, and I take her out to lunch every so often. So I wasn't hearing from her at all. I wasn't seeing her on Instagram. I was looking for her in general, wherever she was at. I wasn't looking to like monitor her, but I was looking for her. And I had to go to her house. And it was a powerful moment because as soon as she seen me, she broke down. And I didn't understand what was going on. I didn't know anything. And come to find out, she had just tried to commit suicide and ended up in a place where they kept her. And she actually said, Miss Howard, I was looking for your number from everybody. No other student had your number. I was looking for you. And when she said that, the fact that I came was powerful. The fact that I was aware that like something was missing, and that the connection was, it wasn't her mother, it wasn't her sister. She was looking for me in her chaos of trauma or whatever. She needed something so powerful for me that I didn't even know I was giving her that much.
Yeah.
And so that was my first real mentee relationship in Houston. And that was not only powerful for her, because it was powerful for me. Like, not that I saved her life, but that I could be a help to make her life better. And that is amazing. And it also, me selfishly, it made me feel like, oh, I belong here. There's some part of me that struggled with being in Houston and finding my place to, I talk all this crazy mess, like to save the people. And a lot of times that's perceived as crazy if you don't understand, or if I'm in a new space that they've never met someone like me. And it made me feel like it was my place. So it literally felt like my feet were on the ground. I became grounded in that moment, like implanted, like I'm okay here. This is what I'm supposed to be doing. This is my purpose. No matter whatever's going on, this is it. And it was the very beginning of Howard House. So it pushed me to do all of these things. It was powerful for both of us. I think it was life-saving,
Yeah,
Wow.
absolutely.
Wow. And the fact that she was looking for you too says that everything that happened prior to that event or that situation spoke to her as well.
Yes. And it was so simple. And that's what I tell people. Those were the simple things, letting her ride with me to basketball games, so she could hear the cool music, taking her to lunch, to Chili's. It wasn't even like I was giving her 5-star experiences. I was just spending time and trying to connect individually and make her think of herself as an individual and where that was going. So yes, that touched my heart so much. It was like, you were looking for me? You were looking for me? Yeah. And ever since then, I gave her mom my number, her sister my number. I don't ever want that to be a struggle now that I know it's a need. Yeah. I hear you need something, so I would never want you to struggle with something so simple as just find my number.
Absolutely.
I love it.
And just to know that you built that connection with her, for her to have the need to find you. I need to speak to Miss Howard. I need to see Miss Howard.
Yeah.
That in itself is, that's powerful. The connection you were able to build. Because had you not had built that relationship, only God knows,
Right.
So
only God knows. So shout out to her. I love her. I still talk to her to this day. I just took her to the movies with a whole bunch of girls. So I'm here for her, and she knows that. So it changed both of us, and I think connected us for however long God made us supposed to be together.
Absolutely.
Wow, I love it.
That
Thank you for sharing.
Yes.
No problem.
So my story is also a mentee story. While I was living in LA, and this was during around the time that I had just lost my job. I was working as a mentor for a screenwriting program, and I had this bright, bubbly little girl who just enjoyed writing, and she really wanted to learn how to write a script. And even though I had lost my job, I was like, I'm still gonna show up. I don't want to have to, I started working with her. We've only been working together for a couple of weeks, but I don't want to replace this relationship and have her start working with someone else. So
that really will affect them.
Right. So I still showed up every single week. Even after I had lost my job, I still showed up for her. We finished her script. It was performed, everything at the end of that. But over a year later, after the program had finished and everything, I gave her my information just in case she wanted to reach out. Over a year later, almost 2 years actually, she sent me an email. And it's basically a check-in. It was a check-in to see how I was doing, and letting me know how much I had inspired her from being her mentor. And all I could think was, dang it. All I could think was everything that I was going through at that moment, I was still able to inspire her.
Yes. Yes.
Monie let it out. That shows how important it was for you. And I remember when Monie got that letter too, you were going through a tough time yourself at that moment, like trying to find your place here and find your footing, and things weren't balancing out. And then it seemed like after that letter, then things started to flow. So that was God's timing too for this situation.
Right. And God, you know what? And I think we forget, because we live in such a monetary world. We have to pay rent. I think we forget that God doesn't always pay us with green. He pays us in glory. Amen. So like to sit in that and like to feel that, that's what life's about, that magical feeling that you're here for a reason. And so that's what you got paid with. So that struggle of finding yourself and where you're going to be at and figuring that out, that was going to come later. That's just the green part. The glory was what you needed. You know what I'm saying? So it's so good to see you sit in that now. Once the struggle's over, you know, it's always easier to just sit in it like, ooh, this is what I got from it. So next time, if there's ever a struggle, just look for the glory, because you got it. You got it. God is providing that for you, you know?
Yeah, that email, it meant everything to me. Like,
amen.
I was like, for her to think of me after all this time and to let me know how much I inspired her, and then to even check on me, how are you doing? Are you still writing? And in my mind, I'm thinking, I haven't wrote anything. Right. But it inspired me. She inspired me to be like, girl, you need to go back and pick up a pen.
Yeah.
Like,
right. Amen.
So you poured into her, and now she's pouring back into me.
And she didn't even know she was doing that.
Yeah.
And she was at this point, she's in middle school now. She was in elementary. So for her to reach out to me, that meant everything to me. And I was just like, it was a sign that I'm doing what I'm meant to do.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And I was still headed in the right direction.
Right.
I was just like, I just need to continue to build these relationships with students and just continue to be there for them in any capacity that I can, when I can.
Right.
And that I was there for her when I didn't even know how to be there for myself. And she didn't know that.
Right.
Because I still showed up with a smile on my face every single day.
Yes, being selfless is the real glory there. So amen. That's so great.
I didn't expect to shed a tear, but that.
Yes, we need to let those out. Emotions are powerful, man. I hope she sees this and like know that she touched you. You know what I'm saying? Because that might make her wherever she's at feel so great about herself too.
I love that. Oh, this is my turn. So I guess mine is a mentee story too. I remember years ago, after finishing at college, I decided to be a substitute teacher, and I was just like being juggled and floating all over the schools. But I was like, put me in elementary schools or middle schools only. I don't want to do it in no high school. You know, it's intimidating, it's scary. So finally, I got a call for a high school, and I was so scared because, you know, I didn't even go to public high school. I went to a charter school. So I'm like, I don't want to get beat up. I'm practically the same age, because I was 22, the same age as these kids. Like, I'm scared. They're going to be bigger than me or whatever. But anyway, long story short, I ended up working at a high school, and I would just float around to different classes. But I mixed well with the children, because I understood, you know, the way that they wanted to learn, how to make things fun. And one student, they kept, like, I think it was like 3 of them kept skipping class to find out whatever classroom I was in to come to my classroom. And it was always their chemistry class that they're skipping. And I'm like, you need to go to your class. Like, trying to get them out of my room, especially on my break time. Get them out of my room to go to class, and they're like, they keep being their teacher. And I'm just thinking they're making fuss. They don't really like it or whatever. A couple of weeks later, I get called into the principal office. I'm like, these kids got me in trouble. They've been skipping class, coming to my class. Like, I'm nervous. It's my money, you know. I can't lose this job. But the call to the principal's office was actually me getting a permanent spot as the chemistry teacher. So the stuff that the kids were saying about the chemistry teacher was real, that like, you know, the friction between them and how she was treating them and everything, they were really telling the truth, and they reported it to the principal. Now the principal's telling me, hey, Miss Love, we want you to take that spot. And then even afterwards, like now I'm getting to have a relationship with more kids who are my chemistry students now, but they're interested in chemistry, yes, but then they also learn, oh, you went to Clark Atlanta, you went to HBCU, tell me about it. And then like during
Yes.
their lunch breaks and stuff, instead of like hanging around in the hall, they'll flock to my classroom and ask me about things. And then I started the step team inside the high school, and they would just like, you know, flock to me. And before Monie's explanation of how to find a mentee and how to find a mentor, I didn't see that as I was a mentee. I was a
Yes.
mentor to them, but it was like I always loved that. Like it just made me love. I was scared to go to high school, but then to be placed there by God and to be able to teach these kids of that, and even the quote unquote bad kids, the ones that like to run halls, and they didn't fight there, but they were bad. Like they would do some stuff, and then to see them change because they finally had a quote unquote teacher who they can relate to, and who didn't just label them as this bad person, but who, you know, I learned to make friends or to associate with them, because the good kids are good already, but these ones who, like you said earlier, there may be some emotional issues, or they may not be feeling loved or getting
Yes.
those, you know, outlets or feeling heard at home. And then here's this teacher fresh out of college who's making me feel that. So,
and they felt that's respect, and you can't learn from anybody you don't respect.
or who
Right.
doesn't
That's
respect you too.
Yeah, so that's why you have a hard time, like if you don't like a teacher in their class. And so you provided respect. You gave it to them so they were easily able to show it back.
Right.
And then able to trust that they could show it back and receive it required some work ethic on their part. And then they put that into school. So like that is what you gave them. And that's so great. That's so great.
And it's cool after too. Like I follow them on Instagram. I'm like, it's funny. Like, dang, you a grown up. You're really turning.
They're
That's
like
how close we were,
20.
and we're like really that close in age. So it's like, dang, we could be friends in real life. But it's like so amazing to see them flourishing and going to college, and you know, just doing things. So it's like, wow, it's beautiful.
And I very much dislike like when students are labeled as bad or uncontrollable, because I worked at a continuation school once. I was teaching film classes, and I was and it just made it seem as if these kids were just labeled as like out of control, and like, yeah, they had different issues going on. There's a reason why they're at this specific school, because I feel like they just weren't getting the attention that they needed or whatever was going on at home, but they connected with me, you know, and that also meant a lot to me, that I was able to, you know, that I was able to hear them out, listen, talk to me about what was going on at home and things like that. Like that is what truly makes the difference when you're able to build those connections with students, because some teachers aren't able to build relationships like that. They come in to teach and they're done. They don't have the capacity to actually build relationships with students to find out why they're sleeping in class, what they might have eaten that day. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes it's just stuff like that.
Parents was arguing all night,
stuff like that. So it's important to be able to build connections with students to actually get a true understanding of who they are and why they are the way that they are.
Yeah,
and I think that goes back.
Oh, sorry.
That goes back to
Tasha working in her own community. When you said the teachers don't understand, a lot of these teachers are driving from the suburbs to come into the middle, you know, in our urban communities to teach these kids who they can't even relate to.
That part.
Right.
Like how Tasha got excited about, I want to call him Mr. Craig. I forget what your teacher did.
Mr. Copeland.
Yeah, like when she got excited because he sang Usher in the classroom and stuff like that. Like it's nice to see a teacher who looks like you. It's nice to have a teacher who turns math or history into a song, because we know the songs on the radio, but let me help you learn these class things. Like somebody who relates to you and understand you, opposed to these people who just trying to get their check. I mean, I'm sure they know well, but stay in your community. Never mind, let me step back. That's not
No, don't get me started. That's a whole nother thing.
Right.
About that. Okay. Segregation is real. It's an option. But I just feel that goes back to Monie said, we need the individual outlets, right? Like, how are we supposed to know that Kodak Black was going to be a rapper? He wasn't that great at school. So like, how did he transition to go find a studio. Was it in bad terms? That's probably why he's in trouble now. Or did we give him a free space to explore that once we realized, oh, school's not his thing. Yeah. Academics is not his thing. Or we can see somebody else, academics is not your thing, but you can work with your hands. So why don't I encourage you to go to ITT Tech or whatever they say, because that's an 8-month program and you can just learn how to fix a car or weld, or like, you don't have to be who everybody else is.
Oh, wow.
And I feel like that's hard because in school, that's what they teach you. You have to, it's conformity. You have to pass the same test. You have, like, what? My brain doesn't work the same. Like, you have to wear the same uniforms. Now it's becoming a thing. You have to like conform. And it's like, but this is the time where I try to figure it out before I mess up. Because then when I'm frustrated at 16, 17, but you give me a car and freedom and I'm able to get a job, I'm gonna wild out.
That part.
Because I have freedom without knowing who I am. Like, so I think, Monie, that's a great point. We need all of these activities. We need these programs. It's a must. Like, it's a must if we want these kids to figure out who they are. And we have a world full of options. You can be a person that takes pictures for NASA, literally just clicks the button and like they get paid so much money. Like, you want to be a photographer, think beyond, you know?
Yeah. So, beyond. There's so many different outlets that you can do based on what you enjoy.
Yeah.
Yes. So we need that. So we're gonna work on something and bring something back.
Absolutely. Come on now.
Come on now.
I'm saying.
About Clark, baby. Ooh.
Yes. Ooh, we speaking something into existence. Oh, we manifesting right now. I see it. You see it. I see it. Let's go.
And that's what connections are about, because once you have an idea and people are able to help you, that's how things get done. Like, that's how things get done. So I love y'all ladies. I love y'all.
We love you, baby. Hey, but you know one thing that you got to do before you go.
What is that?
You got to let the people know where they can find you, sorry.
And this t-shirt.
Right.
You sell the t-shirt.
Okay, so this is Howard House t-shirt.
I love it. See the H's.
Howard House. I give them away at all the events. So come to the event. You can get a shirt. Fundraise with me. You can get a shirt. Donate money. You can get a shirt. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, shirt.
But you can find my Instagram at Whose House. And IG, that is my go-to for the young people, for the youth. That's how we connect. For the older, for the parents who want to see what I'm involved in, what I do, what events I have a website, whoshouse.org, and that's WHOSHHOUSE. So it's 2 H's in Whose House, and we're just ready to explore. We're coming out with an event this summer, so a reading event, because literacy is slacking after Corona. So
come on,
community. We need to learn how to read. Okay, it's just about typing it on a computer.
Right.
So we're having a literacy event this summer in Houston, Texas, and I'm just excited to see what I can do to help. That's it.
I love it.
Yes, love what you are doing. Love you.
Love you.
See you in person.
Right.
Listen, I am about to graduate, so come on, master's degree.
Yeah,
so
master
then
it,
I
baby.
can figure out my life, because that's been difficult, being the educated one and trying to balance real life. So I'm trying to get it all in so I can soak it in, because my next move is to be school board, go into politics.
Yes.
Really fight for my community. I'm looking at data and I'm analyzing this data. I currently have a internship with some police department here. I can't say which one. And I'm looking at data about teenage arrest rates and what that's looking like in the next 5 years, what it looked like in the past 3 years. And I just want to say, especially Black men, we're at a scary point. Mm-hmm. We're at a point that there's going to be no coming back from if we're not educated in what's happening. And that includes local voting. We just had local voting here March 1st. And although they didn't advertise it because they didn't want us to vote this time, we have to do things like that, because I know that now it has to be bigger, and that's why I got out the classroom. Now my voice has to be, no, I'm fighting for us and only us. I don't care that you're upset that it's only about the people who look like me or who live in my area, but no, you only care about yours. So we have to go into this micromanagement of our own people, and that includes understanding laws. That includes understanding what politicians believe in.
Right.
That includes where you give your money to, which neighborhood you spend it in. Okay.
Now, come on.
So we need those things, and that's the next goal, is to go bigger and start talking my mess. Okay.
For real.
You better.
Oh, I'm so proud of you. I love to hear this.
Yes, beautiful. Beauty.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's time for announcements. It's time for announcements. It's time for announcements. It's time for announcements.
I said I need some little clip thing or little shaker things. While she sings. Yeah. Can you feel it now?
Hey.
Give it shoulder the wings.
Hey, sorry. I was getting into it.
For our first announcement, we want to definitely thank our special guest for this podcast. Special thank you to our friend from the illustrious Clark. Dang, we know so many popping people from Clark
Atlanta University. Okay.
Oh my God, and like the connections that, people told us the 4 years in college were going to be the best 4 years. Not that they were talking mess, but it was the best 4 years.
We met some really dope folks.
Best 4 years of my life. But thank you, Josh, for taking time to meet with us and record with us. We had an awesome time recapping with you. Dang, we ain't see him since college days.
That's what I'm saying. So much time has gone by, but to still be able to connect with the folks, like no time has passed at all.
Yes. Yes. And it's amazing seeing him on Instagram and his songs and his little skits. His skits and everything that he does on Instagram. So if you're not already, make sure that you're following Josh. I think it's Josh Making Beats on his Instagram page. And yeah, show him some love. He's dope. Also, we want to give a special shout out to our sis. She was our roommate too.
Yes, she was. Junior year.
Yeah, she was our roommate. That's how we got closer and closer and closer to her. Tasha.
Boo. Thank you.
Baby.
Coming up to the show is good. Going all the way up to the dorm stories, but you did 2 segments, okay?
2 segments.
Oh my God.
Thank you so much for, spilling the knowledge that you have, sharing your passion and all that you do with your business. We're so proud of you, and we love you so much.
Love you so much. It was so great to, even though it was Zoom, we had to reconnect. Can't wait till we connect in person again. But
right.
It would be great to do that. S-Fam reunion, man. Oh, one of these days. We were trying to plan it for years, but when you grow in adulthood, it gets I feel like year after year, it gets harder and harder. Somebody just gonna have to get married. That's the only way.
Right.
That's the only way. I'm still most likely that's gonna happen. Right. Somebody gonna get married. We all gonna see each other.
Oh my God. But yes, thank you to Josh and Tasha for setting it off on this podcast. Next announcement.
Yay. We are now in the month of April, which means it is time for a brand new question of the month. And this month, our question of the month is, what was your go-to move in high school or college? Okay, we talking dance moves, y'all. What was you hitting? I did this a lot.
Yes.
So this not gonna be the one I'm gonna share. It was some other moves. Oh, that was good. Hey.
But what was yours?
Yes, please let us know. Send us some videos so we can share it on our page.
Yes.
Please.
That would be so much fun.
Your go-to dance move from high school or college.
It would be so much fun if I could find videos on my laptop of us, like if I can find videos of us dancing in the dorm or something.
Yes. Oh my gosh, gotta share those. Yes. We have a lot of those.
Yes.
Or we could just make a new one.
Ooh, we should do a TikTok.
Now we doing TikToks. But yes, please let us know. And as always, if you become a member, you're going to be entered twice. And sometimes if we have a discount code that you're winning, you might get double that discount code, maybe triple that discount code. I'm not saying that's what's going to happen, but it's a possibility. You got to go to the page. Exactly. Go to our Instagram page or go to our YouTube page when we post up our answer for the question of the month and put your answers underneath so that you can automatically be entered to win.
Yeah.
Whatever it is that we're giving away.
Yeah.
Check our page to find out.
Yes. And our next announcement, I'm going off the heart. I think it's about merch.
Yes.
If you don't have any of our merch, if you're new to our podcast, new to our YouTube channel, we are poets. So we have 2 poetry books so far.
Yes, we
Keyword
do.
So far.
So far.
And we also have a journaling prompt book.
Yes.
So that's 3 books that we have.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes we have book bundles, but you can go to our website and see what we have there, what we have here. We also have some sweatshirts, some hoodies, some t-shirts.
Yes, we do.
And buttons. We have mugs.
Oh, yes, we do.
And other stuff.
We got pants too.
Oh, we do.
We got all about our buttons.
I said buttons, but you said pants.
Oh, no, I didn't. I said
but we got pants.
We do. Coming.
Yeah.
Soon.
Oh, I just dropped that.
You did.
Oh, my bad. But we working.
We working. Oops,
yes.
Book a little surprise.
Yeah.
Coming soon. Y'all.
But yes, make sure that you're supporting us with our merch.
Yes. And of course, as always, we have to thank y'all for tuning in and listening and sharing, letting us know what y'all think, giving us feedback. Sending poets our way, for people that may be interested in being on our show. Thank you for just always showing love and supporting us, especially, I love to say this, especially if you've been supporting us since day one. I'm talking about day one, like IG Live day one, okay?
No, day one. You talking about podcast day one?
I'm talking about podcast day one. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about like IG Live. Yes. And now we done went from IG Live to podcasting before we had the mics, and then we got the mics, and now we're doing video podcasting so y'all can see our faces.
Yes.
What?
And we're together.
Growth, right? And we're together. We were on 2 separate codes.
Y'all remember this game?
So yes. Oh gosh, here we go. We're not playing that one again.
But if you liked what you watched, y'all, make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe to our podcast. Thank you so much for those who've been reposting us on your Instagram stories, also sharing our links to your families and friends and lovers and friends.
Tell me again,
Monie.
Baby, lovers and friends.
Oh, it's a good look, baby.
Again.
But yeah, like it really does a lot for us because we are indie artists. We are independent women. We're not gonna go to another song.
Okay.
I do that all the time. I always bring up something. But yeah, so thank you so much to those who have been supporting us from day one for our podcast, supporting us since 2016 when we first came out with our buttons.
Y'all hear that? 2016.
To be able to fund LoveLoudd and buy the books so that we can sell those, and those who kept asking us what's coming next, pushing to the limit.
Here we go. No, okay. It's time to bring this episode to a close before we turn into karaoke.
Thank you, y'all. Thank you so much. We could have a LoveLoudd karaoke.
We could do that. Ooh,